Hello, my name is James, and I'm the Mayor of JamessTown. On the 12th day of Epic Games' free Christmas giveaway, we have a free digital copy of Stranded Deep to add to the 15-game collection. Stranded Deep is a survival, crafting game similar to Raft, The Forest, and Subnautica in some regard. Developed by Beam Team Games and published under the same umbrella, Stranded Deep is an early access survival title that has you surviving the harsh sea with nothing more than the clothes on your back and a life raft. The game was originally released on the 23rd of January 2015, but still remains in early access to this day, which isn't a great sign, but oh well. In terms of gameplay, the gameplay is very similar to other titles in the survival crafting genre, such as The Forest or Raft, more so Raft, down to the fact that they feature such vast expanses of water. With nothing more than a life raft in your possession, you have to explore the Pacific Ocean in search of any kind of resource, like food, water, and tools to keep you safe from the sun. Well, that and starvation and hunger. I hear those two aren't that nice either. As a result of this, you'll be paddling to different islands, exploring what's on each of them, locating any kind of food or drink you can get your hands on. Eventually, once you've gotten to grips with everything, you'll be able to set up a base of operations to ensure that you survive as long as possible. One thing that Stranded Deep has that some other survival titles don't have is the introduction of skill levels, which effectively gatekeep certain actions you can do, like creating certain structures. Personally, I can't say I enjoyed being gatekeeped when it came to crafting certain stuff. After all, the tutorial suggested I make a water silo to collect water, but because I wasn't level 2 in crafting, I couldn't do it yet. Did not enjoy knowing that I'd have to go out of my way to craft other stuff that I didn't initially even want, just to make sure I could get to the right level. For me, I could do without the game's level system, at the very least for crafting anyway. Another small issue with the game is the bugs. As of the writing of this review, the game has yet to reach a 1.0 release, so it's not going to be perfect. However, that doesn't excuse the fact that the biggest amount of damage I ever took was down to me holding onto my life raft, backing it up onto a beach, and accidentally coming across a rock. All of a sudden, the game thinks I'm trapped and freaks the F-train out, suddenly causing me to take unnecessary damage. Don't ask me why it does that when you're moving an object, but it's quite frustrating to take damage for no good reason. Oh, and there was a lovely bug where I put down the anchor only to have my life raft flip through the air, get stuck in a 90-degree position, and then flip upside down again. The game very clearly needs a bit more work, and despite it being 5 years already, I do hope it gets there. In terms of the visuals, the game has me in a couple of minds. The main positive, however, is obviously going to have to be the ocean and the way it moves. The developers clearly put a lot of effort into the ocean, and it quite frankly looks gorgeous on the highest possible setting. Easily one of, if not my favourite part of the entire game. On the flip side of things though, certain textures in the world just aren't that impressive and don't have nearly as much detail and work put into them as I would have initially hoped for. At no point does the game look bad, but I definitely make the argument that Raft's more unique approach to its visuals wins out on this one. When it comes to the story, there isn't really much I can say about this one, as there's little to no story to really talk about. You play as some random chap or chapette who's currently on a first-class flight over the Pacific. Something then goes tits up and you crash land in the middle of the ocean. You hop into a life raft and your survival efforts begin. Other than that and the need to survive, there really isn't anything to the story. It's merely there for the sake of appeasing people who wonder what they're doing stuck in the middle of the ocean in the first place. In terms of the audio, I'm not particularly blown away, but that's okay. Unsurprisingly, the best part of the audio is the sound of the waves in the ocean lapping against the sand of all of these little islands. If it weren't for the fact that you're slowly starving to death, it'd be quite relaxing to listen to. The music, however, is just kind of meh. It isn't inherently bad, it just isn't that interesting or exciting and is very forgettable. After about an hour, I just turned it off to listen to the background of the sea instead. Much more satisfying that way. In conclusion, Stranded Deep is clearly a game that has some fun ideas for the genre, but I feel as if it's already been done better by other games. Yeah, it's got a fun gameplay loop for a little while, but it isn't the kind of survival game that I would personally spend more than a few hours in total. I like exploring the vastness of the ocean, but that can only sustain the fun factor of a game for so long. As a result of all of this, I'm going to have to give the game a traffic light score of yellow. It's a fun survival game, one that is definitely worth losing a few hours into if you've not played it before. However, there is much better survival crafting games on the market, many of whom have constantly been updated ever since leaving early access. An accolade the game currently can't claim as of right now, sadly. Thanks to those of you that stuck around to the end. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. By the looks of things, the list still has yet to be proven wrong, and if that remains to be the case, then we're going to be getting a free copy of Solitarica to enjoy, so be sure to keep an eye out for that and my review on it. I've been James, the Mayor of JamessTown, and I'm off. Goodbye.